Andreas Hofer, the renowned Tyrolean patriot and freedom fighter, is celebrated in history for his role in the Tyrolean Rebellion of 1809 against the Bavarian and Napoleonic forces. This movement emerged as an act of resistance during a time of widespread upheaval and Napoleon's sweeping conquests. Hofer's leadership, born from a profound sense of duty and loyalty to his homeland, reflects the essence of his life and his people's fight for independence. Andreas Hofer was born on November 22, 1767, in St. Leonhard in Passia, a village in the mountainous region of Tyrol. His family ran a tavern and a farm, and Hofer worked primarily as an innkeeper and wine merchant. Growing up in the close-knit agrarian society of Tyrol, Hofer developed a deep love for his homeland and the Catholic faith. This upbringing contributed significantly to his fierce loyalty to his local traditions and his resistance to any force that threatened the Tyrolean way of life. Hofer's life as a farmer and innkeeper also kept him closely connected to the rural communities of Tyrol. His position allowed him to understand the concerns and values of the common people, which would later play a vital role in rallying local support for his cause. In addition, Hofer had previously served in the Tyrolean militia, which equipped him with some military knowledge and an understanding of the region's rugged terrain. This experience would prove invaluable in the guerrilla-style warfare that characterized much of the Tyrolean uprising. The early 19th century was a period of immense political and social change across Europe, with the Napoleonic Wars reshaping the continent's borders and power structures. Tyrol, which had historically been part of the Habsburg Austrian Empire, found itself ceded to Bavaria following the Treaty of Pressburg in 1805. Bavaria was allied with Napoleon, and under Bavarian rule, Tyrol experienced significant shifts in governance, including the imposition of new taxes, military conscription, and restrictions on religious practices, reforms that were deeply unpopular among the fiercely independent Tyrolean population. The Tyroleans viewed these changes as an assault on their rights and traditions, particularly their Catholic faith, which had long been integral to their identity. Andreas Hofer, embodying these traditional values, became a prominent figure among those opposed to Bavarian rule and Napoleon's influence. His resistance was not simply a defiance of foreign rule, but also a defense of Tyrolean autonomy and cultural identity, which he believed were under threat. The Tyrolean Rebellion of 1809 is the centerpiece of Andreas Hofer's life and achievements. In April of that year, following Austria's declaration of war on Bavaria and its allies, Tyrol saw an opportunity to reclaim its independence. Under Hofer's leadership, the Tyroleans launched a series of uprisings, engaging in guerrilla warfare to fend off Bavarian and French forces. Hofer's command was marked by his deep understanding of the mountainous terrain, which allowed his forces to use the landscape to their advantage. The Battle of Bergisel, which saw a series of confrontations near Innsbruck, was a particularly significant part of the rebellion. Hofer's forces initially succeeded, driving out the Bavarians and reclaiming control of Tyrol. These victories were instrumental in bolstering the morale of the Tyrolean fighters and gained Hofer widespread recognition as a national hero. During this period, Hofer established a provisional government in Innsbruck, serving as a de facto leader of the region. His administration emphasized traditional Tyrolean values, and his rule was marked by a strong sense of justice and respect for local customs. However, the reprieve was short-lived. Austria, weakened by successive defeats to Napoleon, eventually signed the Treaty of Schönbrunn in October 1809, officially ceding Tyrol to Bavaria and France once more. This diplomatic turn left Tyrol isolated, and Hofer and his followers soon faced the full brunt of the Franco-Bavarian forces. Despite being abandoned by the Austrian government, Hofer refused to surrender. He retreated into the mountains with a small group of loyal followers, continuing to resist as long as he could. However, after a series of skirmishes and dwindling resources, Hofer was betrayed by a local farmer and captured by French forces in January 1810. He was taken to Mantua in Italy, where he faced a swift and highly politicized trial. On February 20, 1810, Andreas Hofer was executed by a firing squad, reportedly meeting his end with great bravery and composure. His death was intended by the French authorities to serve as a warning to other would-be rebels across Europe. However, Hofer's execution only cemented his status as a martyr in the eyes of the Tyrolean people, who saw him as a hero who had sacrificed his life for their freedom and values. Andreas Hofer's legacy endures as a symbol of Tyrolean patriotism and resistance against oppression. His life exemplified the ideals of loyalty, courage, and sacrifice, and his actions during the Tyrolean Rebellion have left an indelible mark on Tyrolean and Austrian history. Today, Hofer is remembered not only as a hero, but also as a unifying figure for the people of Tyrol, who continue to celebrate his memory through various commemorations and cultural expressions. Hofer's story has also inspired countless artistic representations, including poems, songs, and even operas, highlighting his impact on the cultural memory of Tyrol. Statues and monuments in his honor can be found across the region, and his former home in St. Leonhard has been preserved as a museum dedicated to his life and the Tyrolean Rebellion. The Austrian military also pays homage to Hofer by naming certain units after him, underlining his enduring symbolic importance in Austrian national identity. Andreas Hofer's life and achievements reflect the powerful role that individual leaders can play in the collective struggles of their people. His leadership in the Tyrolean Rebellion demonstrated that determination, love for one's homeland, and a willingness to make personal sacrifices could inspire widespread resistance, even against seemingly insurmountable odds. While his rebellion ultimately failed in military terms, Hofer succeeded in creating a lasting legacy of resistance against oppression and loyalty to cultural identity. Today, Andreas Hofer remains a respected figure not only in Tyrol, but also in the broader context of European resistance movements. His story serves as a reminder of the values that he lived by: bravery, faith, and unwavering commitment to the cause of freedom. As one of Tyrol's most revered historical figures, Andreas Hofer continues to inspire future generations, embodying the timeless struggle for autonomy and justice against the forces of domination.